We hope you enjoy this rebroadcast of Risk On's highest-rated topics for the previous week. Todd and Jason will return next week with their regularly scheduled programming. And now, Risk On.
Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's March 1st, the 20th show of what may be the greatest show about risk ever. We talked about this on Friday. J&J, I kind of thought the J&J approval was faster than everyone thought. Maybe they didn't, but it seemed like it was. But most importantly, when you get 3 vaccines and J&J had already, I'm going to say printed, but made a ton of them already.
Right.
It kind of felt like a little bit of relief. And this morning when I was driving here, because I live in Las Vegas part of the time and I'm moving from California, my family, there was a lot of traffic. And I'm thinking, what, does anyone not remember there's COVID? But I don't think I think they heard about J&J and they decided to go drive.
It was busy this weekend.
Was it?
Yes. I was on the Strip. It was packed.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. For those that don't know, you should look into the J&J vaccine because that's based on old technology. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist, and I do invest in technology and scientific stuff and healthcare. But that old technology is already proven where mRNA is new. It's doing great.
Yeah. No
no problems, but the J&J vaccine,
J&J single application? Yeah.
right? I think they end up getting a booster. On Friday, SOS got pounded by Hindenburg.
Yes.
We got lucky and just because of sheer stupid luck, it sold it
Yeah.
for a little bit of a profit.
Yep.
And then today I thought it was going to be dead, and boy, did it turn around, right? Hey, if we could do this, Brett, can we bring it up on the screen real quick as Jason talks about today up $1.92. Let me know when we're live on the screen. Okay, we're good now. Jason, why don't you walk us through today? Because why was it up and what's going on here?
Well, SOS, the CEO, actually hit back at the Hindenburg hit piece, and they were adding some legitimacy to the actual company. I believe on Twitter you can find some pictures of the actual mining operation in China with the SOS brand. And also, I believe on LinkedIn, the CEO was on there, and he posted some comments about it. So it looks like all the investors bought the dip, and I think Hindenburg was smart. They probably covered. So after hours here, actually, it was a 40% runner during the operation
Up
hours.
$1.92,
Yeah.
and in the aftermarket, $6.65, down 4 cents, but a rip off the bottom, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this is a name you're fond of for some reason.
Yeah, it's just well, you know,
If it's a Chinese obscure stock in a part of China where you have to go travel on the rice paddies to get there, you're a fan.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, got it. All right, just making sure. I don't know this stock from Adam, but I did trade it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is an example of risk, but understand that technical trading, the math of technical trading, I've described how I trade, right? Which I either invest or I file a 13D because I want to make an investment or buy a company, something like that.
Yeah.
An example of it is when I file a 13D, I'm really interested in the whole company or part of it, or I want to do something strategic with management. When I invest, like in Boeing, I'm long Boeing.
For sure.
What control do I have of Boeing? Nothing. But I can see a macro trend, and I'll make a big investment like that, right? I've also made an investment in IEP, Icon Enterprises,
Yep.
big dividend there,
Yep.
run by Carl Icahn and Brett Icahn. His son has rejoined. I know Brett. I'm very fond of the family and excited to be a shareholder there. And then there's the technical side of the trading where it's just volatility, and that's where Jason comes in. And so I don't even know this company. You give me, how much do you describe to me before we put a trade on?
I just give you a brief synopsis of what it is and what it does, and then what I think it's capable of doing. EBON is another Chinese.
Sure.
They're an ASICs chip maker, though.
Right.
They're mining Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. Believe it or not.
But the point here is these are technical breakouts.
Yeah.
They're acting a certain way.
Yeah.
Or they're in a sector that we think's hot. You want to get long a lot of these things.
Right.
So we technically trade them. That's why on Friday I just thought it wasn't really moving much. It was up a little bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't comfortable, but I could have got crushed.
For sure. But I had a feeling that there would be a response from this company.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like Hindenburg was just manipulating price again based on a hit piece. There was really I didn't see anything factual.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I'm part of a company that has mined before and is mining again, and we are very paranoid about what people think. So we take pictures,
Yep.
video,
Yep.
we document, we invite the auditors to come out and count the machines,
Right.
independent auditors. Because these hit pieces can claim things, like anyone can claim they're mining.
Right.
But are they really mining?
Right.
And we, I'm hyper paranoid about disclosure, as you know, and, those people on the screen that can see it. I'm on the diet today.
Yeah. I'm
excited. Anyways, Josh, you're excited too, right, for me? Chicken and rice or whatever it is. No rice. Let's take a look at RIOT. I sold pre-market RIOT at 49. It pulled back to like 47 and some change.
Right.
I sold 1,000 of the 4,000 shares we had. And then above 50, I started selling all the way to 51.
Right.
So I feel like I exited well here. And the reason why I exited RIOT is I use RIOT to play Bitcoin. It's a pure proxy. But I really felt like the market rally today was J&J.
Yeah. And
that Bitcoin got back to 48, 49. But it's not really much progress.
You know what else helped Bitcoin get back?
What? If you're going to say it, are you going to say it? I go ahead.
No, I was probably going to say something that you weren't expecting.
Dude, Kevin O'Leary.
Oh.
Did you see him?
No.
On CNBC. This guy dogs Bitcoin. He called it. I can't believe all the stuff he called it. And today on CNBC, he said he's allocating 3% of his assets to Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
Now, Joe Kernan called him out on it.
Yeah.
Joe Kernan, I heard you. You called him out and said, because he called it before, like, all these names I don't know that I'm all even allowed to say, but he was able to say them. He called it, crap coin.
Can we say coin?
He called it all kinds of bad things.
I think we can.
And he said it was non-existent, it was vaporware, it was
right.
this and that. And he said today he's using the Nordic miners to mine virgin coin because he doesn't want to have any Bitcoin that's corrupt or comes from any like drug dealers
or
whatever. So he's mining virgin coin and he's doing it low cost and they got to be carbon neutral.
Oh
Kevin, I saw you, dude. That would be scary if that's the top. I don't think it's the top. But Kevin,
wow.
Dude, all of his ETF, he gave it up today.
Okay. I didn't see that.
Oh, no, I saw this for sure. I was driving in with Skylar today, listening to CNBC on Sirius Satellite Radio.
Right.
The CEO of course, the parent company, Liberty Media, being my favorite investor and CEO in the country, right? Greg Maffei. We talked about that. He threw me that curveball the other day.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, he gave in, and now he likes Bitcoin.
That's awesome. I was just going to say that the $1.9 trillion COVID bill moved from the House to the Senate, and that's looking like it could be an all-party line vote, which would make it 50-50.
Hey, after the stocks section today, we're going to talk about stimulus.
Yeah.
And I know, let's see here. I know Crypto Joe is excited about stimulus. Hey, can you go get Crypto Joe for us real quick?
Yeah, he's very excited about it.
I was in my office. Stimulus is going to happen. He's all excited. Crypto Joe, can you come in here? Joe's in the studio here. Crypto Joe's in the studio. Have anyone ever met Joe? Are you allowed? If he came over here, would that be inappropriate? Do I need to give him a chair? No, would that be inappropriate if Joe was on camera? You wouldn't be able to hear him, right? Because he's not mic'd up. Oh wow. Well, so Joe, what's up with? We can hear you from here. What's up with the stimulus? What were you excited about? You came in here. Are you qualified to get a stimulus check? No, you're not. No. Right.
No, he's
you make
not.
too much money, right?
Yeah.
So why do you care? Why were you so excited?
Because most of the stimulus last time was spent on getting into the market for a lot of individuals.
All right.
Yeah.
So Joe thinks that stimulus is gonna stimulate the whole economy, and that the market sees that's actually gonna happen. Why don't you cover that? Because Crypto Joe apparently can't join us on camera. I know you know a lot about what's going on with the stimulus. Why don't you walk us through it?
Yeah. Well, it looks like a $1,400 allocation, which is kind of I don't know. The campaign promise was $2,000 to each person that was that was allowed to have the stimulus based on the parameters of income and assets and all that stuff. But that money will go into the economy. It'll go into Robinhood trading accounts. It'll go into sports card collecting. It'll go into sneaker investments. All these high-line sneakers. It's a huge. My brother's been doing the sneaker investment, so it's a huge thing also. But not only that, but even during COVID, when I'm walking down the strip and I'm going through the Bellagio, and you'll see like Louis Vuitton stores, Gucci, Fendi, there's lines out the door. So this stimulus money goes to like highline goods too, all these highline brands. It'll also go to guns and ammo, for example. It's going to go everywhere.
I don't know, you guys. How would you invest your stimulus check? Does that make sense to me, though? I mean, Joe, I won't specifically talk about some of your family members. I know you have sisters and stuff. So let's just say, don't people need the money for other reasons other than guns and ammo and investing?
Some people do, but in places like California, I mean, the $1,400 check doesn't pay your rent.
When I go to restaurants and stuff like that, and I see they're at 25% capacity in California, you still can't sit indoors in certain places.
Right.
I don't see how those people don't need it to survive and how $1,400 helps them.
I mean, they do, but it's not very sexy to like pay down a credit card, right? Who the hell's going to do that with their stimulus? They want to go out and make a splash. They want to have some fun. They've been locked up for a year.
What would you do if you got a stimulus check, Skylar?
You would.
You would save it. Right?
Really? Okay.
So, is anyone noticing that maybe not everyone needs it?
We're in a different place with COVID right now. That's what even the Democrats were saying. Hey, do we really need this? And then, of course, all the allocation of all the pork that's going all over the place.
Oh, here we go. Hey, Joe, do you think people need that stimulus check? I mean, it's a strange thing you see in Texas, lines for food.
Yeah.
I'm confused as to what we're doing here.
I think that there's no verification of who needs the funds, so it's problematic. I think that ultimately.
But do you think I should get this? Forget it. I'm feeling sad a little bit. Like, why can't I get a little bit of this action?
There's legitimate need for this.
There is for sure. And I feel bad for people. I mean, literally last night I went to a dinner. It was a great dinner, and I know the place pretty well. And I thought to myself, this guy could not be making the kind of money he was making before. And I left him a $150 tip because I'm thinking to myself, like, I want these people to survive.
Yeah.
And I just don't get. Listen, I'm grateful to the government for putting out a stimulus check package. I'm sure you are too, right?
In a way, but I wish they would take the funds directly and just give it all to the American people. Like,
I don't understand why that we as the politicians think that giving a waiter or waitress, a server, someone who is what do they call them in the sky now?
The gig economy or the service?
They're not stewardess anymore. Are they flight attendants?
Oh, yeah, flight attendants.
Why don't you give them more money? I don't see why it doesn't go directly to people who they're not
directly affected.
How do you pay your rent with $1,400?
How is gender studies in Pakistan an issue with COVID
down,
relief? No, man, you need the bill is this big and they don't read it. I have a problem with that.
Right.
So that's my personal opinion. So
Joe, are you happy we covered stimulus now?
I'm super happy.
It's stimulus Monday. That probably would help. Hey, listen, you were going to cover more about the stimulus, and I know we only have 10 minutes of the show left.
I did want to cover it.
I want you to talk about it passing in the House and how it passed.
All right.
It passing in the Senate, hopefully, and how it's going to pass, you think.
Okay, so it passed the House, straight line party vote. Okay, I think the House has 8 more members than the Democrats do than the Republicans. So it went straight down party lines, and it passed. I think it went to the Senate, and Mr. Schumer said that they're not going to have the $15 minimum wage piece of that in it. And I expect it to go right down party lines again. And if that happens, it'll be 50-50, and there'll be a tiebreaker. And you know who's the tiebreaker, Todd?
Who?
It'll be Kamala Harris, vice president.
Oh, the one from California, my state.
Yeah.
What was that about Tupac? Oh, we'll leave that alone. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it'll be Harris's. It'll be her decision, and she's probably
gonna pass.
Yeah,
it.
of course.
Right.
So that should go through, and people will get that in their accounts and right in time for taxes to be filed, and maybe you have to use that to square up with the IRS. I don't know. It depends on your situation.
I saw today Dr. Scott Gottlieb, former FDA commissioner, on the board of Pfizer, saying that those who are vaccinated, they're seeing, I don't know how they're seeing this, less transmission from people that are vaccinated. So somehow it's reducing the amount of transmission. Is that what they consider herd immunity? I don't quite get the herd immunity part.
No, the herd immunity is just where you just have it and your immune system fights it off, and it just goes through the entire social
Over the
spectrum.
weekend, I saw that not a single person has died who's gotten the vaccine from COVID. And no, this is what I saw.
Wait, slow down. Wait, you got to say that again.
Whoever's got the vaccine for COVID has
Right.
there's not been a single person that's died.
Because people have died from getting the vaccine.
See, I don't think there's any evidence of that. I think it's fake news. I think you're part of the conspiracy. You have
Okay.
proof of that?
Yeah, well,
We're friends and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And my wife said the same thing.
Yeah.
So they're full defense of you.
yeah.
My wife said the same exact thing.
Is it just
But
like,
over the weekend, I watched a show that said that not a single person has died from it, and not one person on the Johnson & Johnson program, they even severe COVID. So what they're saying is you can still get COVID, but the cases are more mild, and there's been no severe cases of COVID and no deaths from these people who've had the vaccine. Listen, I don't know what you're saying. It could be completely factual. Maybe some people have died. What I saw was that they haven't. But the point is that the numbers are going down pretty dramatically. I think we're going to open back up here. I think it's going to happen. I think that they can fight. They can scare us off from these little mutant. They're what do they call them? They're mutantizing. They're coming. I didn't offend you, did I?
No, I was just trying to. I didn't want to get into it because YouTube doesn't like it, so I'm going to stay away from it.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll talk off air about it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All
I'm
right.
excited about the fact that it looks like the economy is going to start to open up.
Yeah.
Right. But we do have to deal with one thing that I'm concerned about long term, and that is I don't know when we're going to deal with it. I don't know how you spend this kind of money without there being you're deflating the currency. You got to be inflating the economy, right? You got to. We're awash in money. 1.9 million is going to go out there and hit.
Yeah.
We're
1.9 T, and they want 3 T more. 3 trillion more.
1.9 trillion.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to definitely be, in my opinion, an infrastructure bill. I guess you can't say definitely be, in my opinion. That doesn't make any sense. I assume there's going to be an infrastructure bill.
Yeah, there will be.
Yeah.
There has to be.
Something.
Roads and bridges.
Right.
All that stuff.
So is the 1.9 trillion going to pass in the Senate?
It should.
You think?
Yeah.
Right. So this market's going to be a little haywire for a while.
Yeah, well, 3 trillion more is right around the corner, in my opinion. So it's going to make a case for crypto, silver, gold still.
So that was Kevin O'Leary's issue. Kevin O'Leary was saying, well, if you start to print this much capital, you know, you're gonna deflate the value of other. I mean, this is an interesting thing. We got to address this, in our opinion. Yeah, is crypto in your mind, you know, digital gold? Is that going to help offset a basically inflated dollar economy?
Well, the way the government measures inflation doesn't account for several items that are used in day-to-day activities. Like, so, for example, you'll have, they'll measure certain things like oil and gas prices, stuff like that, but they might not measure like livestock, like costs of food, certain things like that. So, I mean, it's tough to say, but I know for a fact the U.S. debt clock is not slowing down, and we're going to be approaching 30 trillion of our national debt soon. So you can use Bitcoin as a storage. You could as a what? Yep.
Obviously, not a recommendation. This is a show for entertainment purposes. Consult your financial advisor. Jason and I are not licensed financial advisors. We trade our own money. I obviously trade money for one of the companies I'm part of. Yeah. So you have to obviously do your own due diligence there. Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's March 2nd. Wow, 21st show. Today was a crazy day. Good things going on here. I'm Todd Ault. This is Jason Bartholomew. I saw Rocket. Let's get to the Rocket mortgage. Hey, we're going to talk about the headlines real quick. We'll get back into them later. But I saw Rocket go from like $28 to $45. I mean, it was crazy. What's up with Rocket Mortgage?
Remember we had the call out last week. I said Rocket around 21 to 22.
You sure did.
And we might have gotten a scalp there. I don't remember. Full disclosure, I don't recall.
Yeah, it was. We scalped it today too.
Yeah, well,
maybe for $8,000 or something. But you made some personal money there, right?
Yeah, I got it $28 to $41.23. That was a good one. It looks like they had their earnings were incredible. 4.7 billion Q4, beat 3.92. That's billion with a B. Earnings per share $1.09, beat by 26 cents. They're so cash rich, they're offering a special dividend to shareholders. You just have to hold ex-dividend date's March 8th. Make sure you're a shareholder on March 8th. You will be rewarded $1.11 per share owned. That's fabulous. Nice. Yeah. A lot going on. They had a squeeze. There's shorts invested into this ticker. It's hard to tell exactly what the percentage, but based on the price action, there was quite a bit of short interest in this stock and huge volume today, massive volume. We saw the stock make an all-time high.
Full disclosure: I own Rocket Mortgage
right now,
and I did trade it today with your recommendation. Thank you.
That's good.
Although I was pissed that you didn't pound me harder to buy it. You did tell me to buy it. I want to be clear.
I did.
21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
I was completely stupid and didn't do it. But you did tell me, but
Yeah.
just I didn't feel a conviction. Stupid of me.
I said it again today,
Because
too.
I know that someone used to work there.
Yeah.
Right? Or no.
No, not
that
at
was the
Rocket.
other place.
That was at Redfin.
Right.
Yeah.
I blew that.
But that's okay. I mean, it looks like after hours, there's still activity. Perhaps after the show, we can take another look at it. Bitcoin, very volatile today. We had Joe Biden's SEC pick come out and say some stuff about Bitcoin. Looks like he just wants to take care of any kind of fraud or scams that are going on.
But I think he was a teacher of Bitcoin, of a blockchain at MIT.
Yeah,
I think he's largely considered pro crypto.
he is.
But he said, hey, why don't you read the headline of what's said about him?
So, per BusinessInsider.com, Bitcoin falls 4% after Biden nominee Gary Gensler says SEC will seek to eliminate fraud and manipulation in the crypto markets. I'm not sure how they're planning on attacking that. But yeah, he's definitely thought of as someone who is a supporter of cryptocurrency and the overall crypto markets. But he says the SEC must ensure that crypto markets are free of fraud and manipulation. And he thinks that's the greatest challenge, frankly, because some markets usually operating overseas have been rife with fraud.
You can't really blame him for wanting to do that. Let's pull up on the screen Rocket Companies, Rocket Mortgage. This is a Dan Gilbert company.
Hey, click on the finance tab right there next to all so I can see the after hours. So we're faced with a lot of volatility here. The
This
volume.
is the 5-day. Oops. Wow. What a rocket. This is crazy.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's go to the 1 day real quick. Okay, so today up 71.19%, $17.30. Kind of a normal day for Jason Bartholomew stocks.
I grabbed the 28 and traded it and closed it out at 41.23.
Wow.
13.
You made a ton.
I got a good piece of it.
Good. That must feel good.
Yeah, so that was a good one. That was my best day trade of the year. It's a short year so far.
Tell us again so far. You bought it where?
I bought it at $28 and like some crumbs, like $28.04.
Right.
And I mark it. It's so volatile. For those of you that don't know, like when you have a stock that's really volatile, trading heavy volume, I mean, it's just easy just to put a market sell order in it and just be done with the trade instead of trying to like put a limit order in at a specific price. So I just market sold it, and it closed it out at $41.23.
What do you see on this chart? I mean, the day chart is insane. I mean, it's a big spike, right?
Yeah.
But they were heavily shorted.
Yep.
I think Dan Gilbert. Okay, so I don't know Dan Gilbert personally. I followed him a long time, but I got to assume he's pissed at the price.
Yeah.
He's pissed he was short.
Yep.
He banged out a good quarter.
He has a lot of shares too.
He owns a ton, and
Yeah.
he's paid a dividend. But by the way, he gets paid some of that dividend.
Yeah.
And so he kind of ramrodded all these shorters out there, and people piled in. But they are, I think, the largest mortgage company in the country, correct?
Yeah, and their platform is really easy to use.
Right.
It's super easy. DocuSign. I mean, it's easy. In today's day and age with technology companies, especially fintech companies, the platform, the ease of use on platform just makes everybody
Brett, what do you see on
happy.
Brett, is it on the screen real quick? It is. So they went public pretty recently, actually.
Yep.
It wasn't that long ago. So right there is the 1 year chart, and you can see this thing kind of traded in the 25s down to the 19s, and then got here a couple of weeks ago was 21. It's really kind of been languishing. $19, and then this thing doubles, right?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to show this website. You don't have it on your screen over there, but I want to show you why it did what it did. It's right here.
What is it?
It's nakedshortreport.com.
Ooh.
So we're looking at February, and for those of you that are looking on, hopefully you can see this. So around February 26th, okay, we're looking at shorts that decided, actually as far back as February 22nd, you can see between February 19th and February 22nd, there was a huge amount of shorts that took interest in this thing. You're looking at 52% of the volume being shorted on February 22nd. And then they held their shorts and actually increased their shorts all the way up into March. And what happened was that caused a squeeze when they came out with massive earnings and great results. We had a huge amount of people take interest into going long on the stock. So that people went long on the stock, all these shorts got caught off guard, and now we're looking at a squeeze right now. So that's basically what happened. And now with the dividend they're going to award, it basically allows people to hold the stock and still be incentivized with the dividend paying out March 8th. So this is not only a day trade, this can be looked at, in my opinion, as a long investment too. So it's got the best of both worlds.
Of course, we're not making a recommendation. Hey, I just wanted to cover some breaking news. And we are not a breaking news network, but it is important to understand. The White House has moved up the vaccine timeline and says the U.S. will have enough to vaccinate every single adult in the United States by the end of May. And if the market is a forward indicator, you're starting to see disruption in the market. The home stocks are changing. The entire I think volatility is going to pick up a little bit in the sense that how do you figure out what the market's going to look like now that it looks like we're going to start returning to normal life?
Yeah, I was thinking
there may be a concert here in Vegas again.
Actually Usher.
Oh, really?
That's a good performance, I'm sure.
I thought I saw last night at the Caesar, Jerry Seinfeld looks like he's going to be there.
Oh, okay. I think Usher for June, which is forward-looking, but
right.
That's great. We definitely want to see that.
Actually, I had a conversation with Usher last year. Remember that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was at the conference, the GrowthCon conference with Grant Cardone, and him and I were chatting about my son's gaming. Right in the middle of 30,000 people looking at it.
That's sick.
Strange. He might be right, by the way. My son just locks himself in the room and games all day.
What about and what about Chase? Is he going to try to get his PGA Tour card? Or I heard a story about that.
That's another conversation, Chase. Are you
right.
going to get your PGA Tour card? So what other stocks are we looking at? Rocket is definitely something that's in play. And let me give you a little bit of a shout-out. You were way ahead of the curve on Rocket. I unfortunately didn't listen to you well enough, and it's back down to 38.43.
We're going to look for another opportunity, I am personally, to re-enter that after the show.
There's no question that Rocket's in play, and Dan has called that a special dividend. I'm pretty damn impressed.
Yeah.
And that was a great call on your part. You literally were telling me at 21, you should start looking at Rocket Mortgage, and I kind of screwed that up, But you helped me get back into a trade, and so I don't, I got to pay better attention to what you have to say. But Josh, our producer, gave me some great information on Apple, which I'm sure everyone's going to.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't want to screw that up. If I forgot that, Josh would definitely fire me.
While you're reaching for that, Texas they're ending the mask mandate March 10th. Okay, and all businesses can reopen, and that's great news because Texas is the second largest populated state in the country, and it looks like they are overcoming the power grid debacle. That was massive.
A power company went bankrupt down there.
Yeah.
Texas is reopening.
Yep.
No masks. Everyone can open. I bet Tillman Fertitta's pretty happy. Let's eat some food down there, baby.
For sure.
You got to think Landry Seafood. I saw the ticker for the SPAC that he's merging with pick up a little bit.
Yep.
So I'll have to get back to everyone on the tickers. I can't remember. I was long. It's FST. I think.
Yeah, it is FST.
FST.
Yep.
So Texas reopens. He has a big exposure there in Houston. What's the date that's happening again?
March 10th.
Oh my! It's around the corner.
Yeah.
Right. And then breaking news. Although I'm getting this from Josh, our producer, every Apple store open, completely reopened.
Right.
There you go.
That's awesome.
What about Disneyland, Gavin? What's your problem, dude? What is your problem?
Disney World's been open the whole time. Governor
Gavin,
DeSantis.
you really embarrassing.
I don't know. Florida open, Texas open.
Sure.
Okay. That's
Florida,
huge.
Texas open.
That's 50 million people.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So we're reopening.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you got a lot of people coming from up north that are coming down to Florida. A lot of tourism. Florida's booming. Texas, you got the oil increase, the use of oil. So it looks like we're going to see a lot of a boost.
When we return to normal, the question will be is with the trillions of dollars we borrowed, what's it going to look like? It's like a credit card. We're never going to pay it back.
Never.
No, it's never going to get paid back.
I mean, will we tell China to just F off about the debt?
No, we can't do that.
Can't.
We're the petrodollar.
Yeah, of course.
So but as a percentage of our economy, if we grow at 6%,
yep.
It's like having a credit card balance where you have a small balance.
Minimum payment due, and you just click payment. You're just paying the minimum.
You want to pay the full balance or minimum payment due? Trump comes out last Sunday. What are you going to talk about?
You were talking about politics, and I wanted to bring up another politician from New York.
Okay, so I hate this controversial stuff, but I was reading that the Democrats in New York just stripped Andrew Cuomo of his emergency powers granted to him before the pandemic, and I got to be careful here. But
just be careful.
I would say to you that it appears to me The Democrats like to eat their own.
That's what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So the former poster boy of success in the pandemic.
The family legacy name.
Right.
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 And then you've got the brother who's on CNN who has to
Who can't say anything.
can't really do anything.
Now, I know you're not a fan of his brother.
No, I'm not.
Chris, I actually like the guy.
Yeah, I mean,
He seems to be, like, I'm going to incite you a little bit.
All right.
But he seems to be on both sides. Like, he seems to be fair and balanced.
now I'm gonna rebut that.
Oh, no.
So you can find the video, do your own homework. This gentleman was on Long Island, okay? He was supposed to be in quarantine.
Who
he
is
had
this?
COVID. This is Chris
Okay,
Cuomo.
yeah.
He was out in public starting a fight with an older gentleman. You can find the video. He was supposed to be in quarantine. And then he
Lord.
goes on air and he's yelling at people that they break quarantine.
All I can say is I think he's a newscaster. I happen to like watching him.
Well, that's your opinion, man.
I know it is my opinion. I like watching him. Yes,
Well, good.
I like
I like
Doesn't
watching-
mean I agree with his politics, but I like watching the guy.
I like watching Tucker Carlson.
No, Lord.
Oh, see? I can't have an opinion? Look at that, Josh.
I'm not a Democrat. Why are you making me to be the liberal
You
here?
sound like it.
Just because I'm open-minded.
All right, that was good banter.
Whatever.
All
That
right.
is good banter.
You like who you like. If you like the guy,
I
you
like
guy.
the show. It's entertainment. I'm aware that he's biased to one side. I'm completely aware of that.
You like Don Lemonhead too?
I don't. We're not going here. He just called him Lemonhead. Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's March 3rd. Wow. This is the 22nd episode of Risk On, what I hope to be a great long-term show. I just got to tell you, I woke up 2 o'clock in the morning. You and I had put on some trades. Rocket companies was at 40-something, 44, 45. It's almost like I had a dream. Okay, let me explain this to you.
All right.
I sold that stock for 45 or 46 this morning at 2 in the morning.
Right.
I really did. I was up huge. I sold RIOT up huge. I was up 131 grand for the morning.
Mm-hmm.
How did I end down 300,000?
Fancy play syndrome.
Yeah, what the hell is going on? Okay, the market was, I just want to say, ugly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is everyone here who watches the show, for full disclosure, knows I'm long Boeing. I've been long a million Boeing, not a million shares, $1 million worth of Boeing, around 213.
Right.
Boeing ripped up 10 earlier today. So Boeing saw it. It's obviously one of those stocks that's coming out of, things will improve because of COVID.
Right.
But did they sell tech stocks today? I mean, did they sell them hard?
Bad.
It was sick. And Rocket companies, which was at 46 pre-market, was down to 27.50. I actually bought 5,000 at 27.50. But don't let that fool you, because I also bought it at 28 and 25, 7, 9, 29 and a half, 30, 31. I think my average price is around 30 and a half,
Yeah.
31. And I got my rear kicked. Yeah, let's talk about KMPH real quick. That stock, I mean,
I got it pulled up. It's
oh,
it should be.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
pull it up on
I
the
should
screen.
have it set up.
This
for your
was
second,
a monster,
second, yeah,
and it's not going to reflect. Does it reflect? It does.
Yeah, it went to 21 plus.
Okay, listen.
That doesn't show pre-market.
It doesn't show pre-market.
Yeah.
We have the screen up there, Brett.
Let's talk
Perfect.
about that.
So these guys got FDA approval late in the day yesterday.
Yeah, last night.
Last night it was
Yeah.
really late.
Yep.
It was probably like midnight or something.
Yeah,
right?
the news started coming out at like 10 p.m.
Right. And you told me to you gave me an inch. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is. I really
Let's
want.
set
I want
this one up.
I want this to be a teaching moment
Yeah.
for everybody. Okay. So Interactive Brokers allows you to trade at 1 a.m. Pacific time. You had me put orders in. The stock was 950, 937 exactly.
Yes,
actually.
937.
You said, Todd, put some orders in at 10, which you said was a dream.
Yes.
Which you were right, didn't happen. I put 1,000 shares at every figure. So
Yes.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yep.
And I got filled on 3,100. Stock was at over 20.
Yes.
I got filled. I was up a ton.
Yeah.
$20,000 plus dollars.
We were in like, what was the average?
Oh,
1350?
no, the average was like 12.51.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
it was great trade.
Yeah.
Right. Didn't get filled on the $10,
Right.
but got filled on the others.
So how we did that, just so you guys want to learn, pre-market, we put in some limit buy orders and we staggered them at $1 increments. And when we staggered them, we put the larger buy orders. The dream was to make a larger buys at a lower price.
Right.
Okay. So we would put the stagger in at 5,000.
We had 5,000 at 10.
Yeah.
And then we kind of staggered all the way up to where we had only 1,000 at 15.
Yeah. So we did that, and we ended up getting filled on 3 of those positions.
3,100
yeah,
shares,
okay.
right? And then I this is what I'll tell you. You had me going a little bit. And I know you didn't mean to do this on purpose,
Right,
but
right.
you were this company is so shorted that you were like, hey, this thing could go to 30.
Could go to
50,
30.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I let that go to my head.
Yeah.
And when it was at $21, I didn't sell it all.
Yeah. You did take some off, though.
I did take a lot off.
I was asking you to take some off.
And then when it went back to 15, I put it back on.
Right.
And you made the right call.
Yeah.
Then it went back up to 1750.
Right.
And then, of course, I decided that the approval, they got FDA approval for their ADHD drug,
Right.
which I may need to take, by the way.
Me too.
I'm not very focused.
Yeah.
ADHD drug. Which you point out. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
So, we had with biotechs, I'm a little concerned, though, on multi-day runs because oftentimes it doesn't happen. People usually just sell the news after the run-up, and then they just leave the carcass for the next few days. I mean, honestly, that's what happened.
Carcass.
So Saba was one of the rare breeds that actually had a
follow through a couple days in a row.
Yeah,
Right.
And I just don't know if ChemFarm is capable of it. They did already raise capital. They had a shelf that was taken. So I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to find out. We have a position still. So
We definitely have a position.
and aftermarket is 1292. One of the main things I wanted to talk about in the market for tomorrow, there's an ETF that's going to debut. It's called Buzz, B-U-Z-Z. It's Van Eck, and it incorporates the top 75 trending tickers on social media with a 30-day rolling average on social media. So I have that actually pulled up on your screen if you want to look at it, Todd. I want to show the people what I'm talking about. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports is behind it, and they currently have a one-year return of 78.88% on the current group of tickers that they have. Take a look at, let's see what we got here.
You sent me a fun little thing that Portnoy did about
Let's
the.
see, where did it go? There it is right there. All right, Brett, here we go, right here. So there's the current holdings, Todd, if you want to take a look at it. DraftKings, and this is subject to change.
Is it up on the screen?
Yeah, it should be up on the screen. This is Buzz. The ETF debuts tomorrow. So that conglomerate right there is the current 30-day rolling average of the most popular sentiment tickers on the internet. It's kind of interesting.
The part I don't like about one thing I don't like about my I don't know it's the wrong word, but what I'd be concerned about myself is in terms of my own history is Dave Portnoy being associated with an ETF called Buzz.
Yeah.
And all the stocks that are hot on social media being in it generally means a top.
For sure.
It's scary.
But
There's a lot of signs that we're done for a while. Now, that being said, every time you tried to guess that, you got taken to the woodshed. So,
I mean, what's the 1.9 trillion stimulus package going to do to the market?
I don't know. Maybe they're all going to go into Buzz.
Maybe they'll go into...
I saw his video about Buzz. He liked it a lot.
That was pretty interesting, right?
Right.
So he's...
and they're rotating all these 75 stocks all the time, right?
Yeah, every 30 days they reassess it. And then they
Who's talking about stuff the most, etc.
The AI.
How do they decide how to weight it though? Do you know? Like, why is DraftKings 3%, 3.4%, and why is Digital Turbine 0.9?
I think it just has to do with the actual the footprint of the social media on the company. So, DraftKings is more prominent on social media. The sentiment is higher than Facebook right now. I don't know how they weight it though. That's interesting. I mean, it's obviously that it's more popular, but
There's Chewy.
Yeah.
CRISPR for sure is in there. Beyond Meat. Well, I'll tell you one thing.
General Electric.
It will be volatile, right?
For sure.
Hey, what happens with rocket companies now? Not as many rocket emojis on this one.
We'll see. I mean, 2831 after hours.
What are your thoughts?
I'm in.
Not a big bounce.
Not yet.
I really thought it was going to bounce back to 34.
Yeah, I'm in right now. Let's see what happens.
RBC said $30 price target.
Yeah.
Are they the action in the name RBC?
I mean, the all-time high was like 34 prior to this run-up.
Was it?
Yeah. So
Wow.
keep that in mind.
Well, that dollar dividend will help a little bit,
Yeah, for sure.
but still a little bit of pain around this.
Yeah,
trade.
$1.11. But it's people that want the dividend in the next, what's today, the 3rd. So let's just walk through this timeline. So we have tomorrow the 4th, Friday the 5th, and then Monday is the ex-dividend date. You have to you have to own the shares on the 8th.
You have to own them on the 8th? You have
Yeah.
to own them on the 7th, if it's ex-dividend.
Well, the 7th is Sunday. It has to be the 8th.
So it trades without on the 8th or trades without on the 9th?
I think it trades without on the 9th.
Right.
Yeah, it's
But
recorded
you
on.
get that buck.
Yeah, right.
Got it.
And so we could play it a couple of different ways. We might want to see risk reward. What if the price tomorrow? What if the price Friday goes back to like 35?
I would argue that you got to get your core conviction when you keep stuff overnight. I know we have a little bit of some opinion. I'm long rocket companies.
So, but the rocket could go either way. That could be a long, it could be a volatility trade.
Yeah, but I'm comfortable. I looked at what Dan Gilbert was doing,
Yeah.
and it was down enough that I wanted to load up. I loaded up a little too soon, but I'm comfortable, and I loaded up more. But I have the luxury of having a lot of capital I can put towards that trade relative to the overall size of the trade. You trade a little more nimble because you use a little less capital, and you're obviously trading out of your own pocket.
Right.
Where I'm trading out of a fund.
I was very happy, very comfortable. In fact, if you had $5 million in Rocket Mortgage, I'd be fine with it.
Right.
But the other one, the ADHD drug, I was a little more hesitant.
One thing I want to say about this though is that I looked at when I was getting clipped, I looked at all my positions and said, what do I love?
Yeah.
I sold everything I didn't love.
Right. That's great.
I just got rid of the stuff in the volatility portfolio that I wasn't comfortable with. The stuff I was comfortable with, that ADHD drug thing, I traded when it went back to 14.50.
Yeah.
I traded around it a little bit, getting myself comfortable. You're right though, it could stop making that move, although they do have an approved FDA drug
they
now,
do.
right?
Yeah.
So theoretically, hopefully it's worth a little bit more money there.
Yeah, let's see where the floor is for that. That's the key.
Yeah, hopefully it's up.
I'm thinking the floor is 12 with upside to 20.
It was at 21 this morning.
Yeah.
That's a big variance. That, my friends, is volatility.
But that's a biotech for you.
Right.
So-
Hey, I went long RIOT again into the close.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, a wee bit.
It's fun because they run with, these crypto tickers, especially RIOT, they correlate with Bitcoin very well.
Hey, we got dinner with the congressman tonight.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I like those stone crabs.
I still don't know who it is.
We didn't tell you?
No,
I didn't know that. Is that true?
Apparently not.
never did.
Oh, you're gonna like it. He's a
All you said was he had an R next to his name,
Republican
and
for
he was
sure.
former congressman.
Yes, for
You
11
didn't
years.
tell me the state or the person.
Yeah, you'll know. You'll learn tonight.
Yeah, it's still a
It'll be good.
surprise.
He's very entertaining and smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Just what age group is he in? Just give me that much. A range.
I know that at one time he was one of the youngest congressmen elected.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
But 11 years later, he was no longer the youngest congressman.
Yeah. What did he serve? 1 term?
No, I think he served 5 terms.
5 terms. So Congress is a 2-year term, right? Or House? He's
2
in the
years,
House?
yeah.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
Okay, cool. Looking forward to it.
Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's Risk On. I'm with Jason Bartholomew. It's March 4th, the 23rd episode of what may be the greatest show about risk ever. Now, that's a forward-looking statement. It's probably not true. I'm probably not that smart, but I will tell you, I'm in a damn good mood because I got to have dinner last night with Aaron Schock, former congressman, a 4-term congressman, and entrepreneur who's going to be on the show today and talk about risk. This guy's a real estate guy. He's a beast. The market is terrible. Why am I in a good mood? Because I had not deployed my cash, and I started deploying today. I got long Tesla down 40 or something like that. I got long the QQQs and made some money. I got long the diamonds and made some money. I bought more Rocket. Now, hopefully the mortgage company stays in business because I got it coming out of my ears.
Yeah.
For full disclosure, I bought RIOT in the hole, traded out of RIOT, but still long. But I bought more in the hole, like around 41. I loaded up.
Yeah.
I loaded up. And so I made money today trading, but the portfolio part of it walloped.
Well,
I
yeah.
got spanked pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, Boeing held up okay.
It did, but Clover, ugh.
Yeah. Oh, and KMPH.
KMPH it gets the FDA approval. How do you do this? You get FDA approval for an ADHD medication.
Yeah.
Is it ADHD?
ADHD.
ADHD. Yeah, good. People
Which
know
we
it.
probably
People
need to
who
get.
have it. Tell me about it.
We
Huh?
might get a prescription for that, actually.
What?
We might need a prescription for that.
I probably need a prescription. You get approval. You go to 21.
Yeah.
And you're below the price of where you got it. Well, kind of 931, 963. That got crushed.
Yep.
So you got the Dow down 345, the S&P down 51, the NASDAQ down 2 where we covered that. The Russell down basically 2.67%. The VIX up, so obviously think people are a little bit worried about risk. Dow goes down 400 points after Powell triggers jump in yields. NASDAQ goes red on the year. So
right.
NASDAQ down on the year,
yes.
right? He's worried that as the economy reopens, we get a kind of a rally in inflation a little bit. This sure seems like Captain Obvious stuff to me.
Yeah, I just think that
I don't see that, right?
I want to see what happens when they pass the stimulus.
Right.
I want to see the reaction of the economy.
I kind of thrive on volatility.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think the volatility's there. Obviously, I'm seeing some volatility in a lot of places.
Tons.
But, I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at right now. Got a lot of cash and the ability to buy stuff down lower. I got a lot of cash.
Yep.
Right? So
Yep.
I'm pretty happy.
Yep. A lot of cheapies.
Yeah, a lot of
everywhere.
cheapies down there. Let's continue on with what you're thinking about. What's happening?
The jobs report shouldn't have affected the market in a negative fashion. I mean, unemployment claims were 745,000 new unemployment claims for last week. They expected 750,000, so that really didn't have an adverse effect. But the bond market, the 10-year Treasury above 1.5%, that's a problem. We do have the KMPH loaded on the screen.
Yes,
because we do have a position.
Some moron bought this stock at $14.
Let's see it. Yeah, there.
And I tell you good stuff. I tell you bad stuff. I am long 50,000 shares of this at 14. I have gotten my proverbial ass beat.
Yeah, that's a bad one. It's back to where it was.
Occasionally
Look at
happens.
this.
It's 30 cents above the day they announced that they got approval from the FDA for their new drug.
Yep.
They own a new drug and they're approved.
And that's what happens with these biotech tickers.
Yeah.
They sell off. I think I mentioned that. I don't know.
Yeah, but you also mentioned you thought it could go to 50.
Yeah, but that was
That was just for the one day, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of not happy with it.
You know what? I'll take responsibility. I didn't communicate it fully.
I'll take responsibility. I bought more. I had a trade where I was up $1.6 million. I invested $700,000 in December. In January, I sold it for over $2.6 million. I made $1.6 million.
Yep.
Sometimes you have those, and sometimes you have this.
Is that the largest individual trade that you've made in your career, or was there something?
Oh, no. I put money in. Now, I got to give all kinds of disclaimers here.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, all kinds of disclaimers. Because this was so long ago. But Jack in the Box used to be called Food Maker, based in San Diego. In the 90s, they killed people. 4 people with E. coli burgers.
Yep.
Like 700 people got sick. Stock went from 18 to like 2 or 3.
Wow.
And I bought that over a multi-year period, put a ton of cash into it. So I wouldn't consider it a trade, an investment. They then ran Jack for president. He had like this big head. And I'm Jack. It was like changed the whole company, right?
Yeah.
Actually changed the name, brought in one of the safest food delivery systems in the world. That stock went from where I bought it to 78, then 100, split a few times. My investors made a fortune in that deal. I actually sold and took out I think half their money at 28. It was a huge home run.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
One of my favorite trades of all times.
Yeah.
But were you asking in dollar terms?
Yeah, just in
The
dollar.
most made on a trade?
Yeah, and I guess I needed to clarify that. Like maybe like a 1 day or like a small swing.
Oh, that
trade.
was for a 1 month trade. That was probably the
One-
biggest.
okay.
In the sense that I put 700 up. It was huge. By the way, the very next day it doubled in price again.
I remember.
Now it's down to 5.
Yeah.
But I sold it at 10. It went to 19 intraday.
What are you thinking about that ticker? Anything else?
It's getting lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
until I buy it.
Right.
Yeah, I never tell people what I'm going to buy till I buy it.
Yeah. I mean, because you have to balance your risk. We're getting a question, how much of your portfolio is fully like risk on, like high volatility?
I would argue. Let me think about that question.
Yeah.
How much of my portfolio is risk on?
But, if opportunities arise, you're able to deploy the cash.
Yeah. I like to have, like Warren Buffett talks about, I want to have dry powder
Yes.
when there's blood.
Absolutely.
Like, I normally want to buy things when nobody wants them.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
That's why I like rocket companies.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's solid. Like,
Right.
when you deploy that cash and you think that you're in a good position where, the market's kind of tying a tourniquet on the stock, so to speak.
Sure.
And I think that after today and then tomorrow, I want to reassess tomorrow and see what happens. We might see some sell-offs tomorrow. Obviously I can't predict the future, but it is a Friday. But I'll be ready to buy tomorrow. Let's just say that for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
So you have no kind of predictions on what you think the market's going to do?
No, I really don't. I didn't think it was going to be a bloodbath today. The market massacre today, I didn't expect it to be this bad. It was pretty bad. The only thing was green when I was looking at sectors was traditional energy, oil.
Right.
That was really it. Everything
sense.
else was just red.
The last 2 days I've been talking about a special guest, a congressman coming in, and we're going to cut away real quick, right, Brett? We are going to bring on Aaron Schock. This guy is one of the youngest men ever elected to Congress.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yep.
He took Abe Lincoln's seat in Peoria, Illinois.
Yes, correct.
This guy.
Oh, you know what else?
What else?
He won by overwhelming margins on all. Let's see, four. He served four
His
terms.
fourth election, 75%.
75%. How do you get 3 out of 4 people to vote for you?
The guy's incredible.
That's amazing.
And a little shy about his story. Had a little bit of an issue. He solved that problem.
Yeah.
Over some what considered to be nonsense, retarded stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, not allowed to say that word. Anyways, we are going to bring on Aaron Schock. We'll be right back. Stay tuned to Risk On. Hey, we're back, and I'm so pumped that Aaron Schock has joined us in studio. He was elected to one of the youngest elected congressmen ever, right? One of the longest. I know there's some technicalities because country's 200 years old and no one lived past 25 a long time ago. But he is a young Republican congressman, 4 terms. His last term, he got elected by 75%. Now, I can't get in my household, which is 6 people, to agree on that percentage. You got, 750,000 people to say you're the guy.
3/4 of them.
Incredible.
Good to be with you, Todd.
I'm excited. We just did a podcast today, which you can learn more about. Autonomous. We covered some great topics like how you got elected at 19th school board, how you got elected at state senate. You were in state senate or state assemblyman, right? Is that right?
State legislature,
state house with Obama.
Yeah.
You guys got elected the same year. When you got into Congress, he became president.
Correct.
And then you were invited to Air Force One.
Correct.
Now, how did I know that? Deep research. Yes. Just kidding. Jason, can you hear me over there with that special mic? You good?
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. Mr. Producer said for me to be careful not to talk over you. So
okay, here's where we are. So what you don't know about the congressman is that he was buying stuff at a young age. This is a risk-on guy. This guy's got to write a book about the stuff he's done. Real estate mainly, right?
Mostly real estate. My first business was doing computer programming. My parents bought one of the first IBM home computers. We lived in rural Minnesota at the time. We didn't have cable TV out in the sticks, and I learned MS-DOS formatting. And then when we moved to Illinois, I worked for a chain of bookstores in their warehouse doing database management. When I was 12 years old, I started a company that they hired. And that was the way I worked around the work limitations in Illinois. Because in Minnesota, you can get a work permit as a kid on a farm, but in Illinois, they didn't allow that. And then Illinois became the first state in the country to legalize ticket scalping. Back when that was illegal, Illinois became the first state to be able to resell tickets for more than you paid, and I became one of the first ticket brokers, working for a company called VIP Tours out of Woodstock, Illinois, which was bought and sold and is now ticketsnow.com. And 7th grade.
Hold on a second. Hold on. What were you doing at 12 years old? Let's continue.
So made $18,000 my first year when I was in 7th grade, and I took all of it and then put it in an online trading account, which the year was 91, 92, 93.
Oh.
And my dad, who thought I was crazy for buying stocks, was kind of shushed me away. So I bought subscriptions to Money, Kiplinger Personal Finance, and Fortune Magazine. And my scientific, you'll appreciate this, of my scientific analysis of what I chose to buy was they have their top 5 picks every month. And if there was one stock in all 3 magazines, that's what I would buy. And if there wasn't a stock in all three magazines, I wouldn't buy that month. But it was, I bought Sun Microsystems, Oracle, Apple, all these tech stocks in 91, 92, 93. And then by the time I was in high school, I had several $100,000 in my online trading account, which I then took out some cash, $60,000 in cash, and bought 110 acres of farm ground, which I intended to develop into a gravel pit. And it was during that process that the sanitary district, the city, decided they wanted to try and take my property through eminent domain, and I fought them. And I fought them. We went to court, and during that process, I was wanting, as we talked about in the podcast this morning, I wanted to go to college early. My school board blocked me, so I ran against the school board president. She took me to court, had me thrown off the ballot. I ran as a write-in candidate. When I got 6,000 people to write my name on the ballot and beat the school board president, about 10 days later, the attorneys for the sanitary district call my attorneys and say, we want to settle. And that's when I learned that even the courts are political.
You okay with that?
They get so mad when you start posting stuff.